Man, listen, I'm just trying to help somebody. So yesterday I had an opportunity, I had a wonderful opportunity of DJing this big wedding, this elegant wedding, beautiful wedding. And throughout the day, I picked up on a couple of things that I felt like it can be very helpful. So in this wedding, like I said, just top-notch wedding, right? So there were the flowers and there was lighting and they had the dancing on the clouds and all the photographers and videographers and caterers and bartenders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the reasons why I felt like this event was as successful as it was because everyone on every one of the teams that were there, we all had to work together in sync to make sure everything was as smooth as possible. Obviously the coordinator had to work with everybody, right? Myself as the DJ, I had to work with the violinist and I had to work with the soloist to, make sure the music portion of the evening was all in sync. And of course, again, the coordinator had to work with everybody, so I was hand in hand with the coordinator as well. I saw the florists; they were working with the venue planner, and the photographer had to work with the catering staff to make sure the timing of dinner was well orchestrated and aligned with when they were able to take the photos and other memories throughout the or I should say moments throughout the night. It was just a beautiful thing to watch the orchestration of everything. And it was again, I felt like the success was there because all of the parties involved were locked in. They understood their role and they understood the roles and the purposes of the other people that were all together working for the end goal of the event. So they were focused on the communication, they were focused on the collaboration, again, to make sure that the wedding was top notch. And it really was. I really enjoyed myself. It was a beautiful wedding. So the other thing that I noticed that I picked up on, so in order to get into the venue as a vendor, you had to go through a check-in process. And with that check-in process, that's where you go also be loading your stuff and it's all a part of how they kind of keep track of who's in the building, right? And so they documented the time that you check in and that you physically check out. And so that day, and I always like to get to my events early so I have time to set up and, if we have any hiccups, then I'll have time to make my adjustments. But I checked in at 3:31 p.m. And when I checked out, it was 12:50 a.m. So I'm gonna say that again. I checked in at 3:31 p.m., checked out at 12:50 a.m. So as you can see, that was a long time to be anywhere. And so when I got in the car and, I was on my way home, which typically would take about 20, 25 minutes as a straight shot to get home. This particular day, it did not. It took me about 2 hours to get home due to the traffic and due to all the issues that was going on. There was a big traffic jam. I don't know if it was an accident or anything, but we were stuck on the bridge for quite some time. And so again, a 20-minute ride, what should have been a 20-minute ride, turned into a 2-hour delay. So again, you can tell by those details that I was tired. I was a little frustrated. I was ready to just get into my bed. But all of this reminded me that success, whether we're talking about a wedding, planning a wedding, executing a wedding, or if we're talking about achieving your career goals, it hinges on teamwork, right? It hinges on strong teamwork. It hinges on effective communication and then having a deep understanding of the people that you're working with and their roles and their purposes as it relates to what you're shooting for. So this experience that I had, it also highlighted the importance of resilience and adaptability. And I'm talking about my travel home, right? So getting home as late as I got home, and then on top of that, having to wake up early to start my day for today because the wedding was yesterday. It really reminded me that unexpected challenges are inevitable, but it's all about how I navigate them, If I do it with grace, if I do it with patience, and if I do it with a positive mindset, if that is the case, I'm going to always be successful. Same thing with you. If you're facing these challenges with grace, with patience, with a positive mindset, you're going to always be successful. So I want to leave you with three particular next level tips. First of all, first tip I want to leave you with is really embrace those collaborative relationships. And I will say this to the end of the earth: relationships are keys to life, period. So this is going to require some active listening when you're talking to people, right? This is going to require clear communication when you're talking to people, and a deep understanding of the needs and the perspectives of others while you're talking to people. So I challenge you to identify 3 to 5, or just one. Let's just say one, because right now that may be where you are. Identify one particular professional, reach out to them, someone who's in your field or in a related industry, someone who you admire, you've been checking out their work inspires you. Reach out to them, see if you can schedule some sort of 15-minute, doesn't have to be long, some sort of informational interview where you can just talk to them about how they reach the goals that they have reached and done the things that they're doing. Talk about their career paths. Have that coffee chat with them so that you can work on building your network with these particular people, and you can always learn something from them. So that's the first thing, those collaborative relationships. Second thing I want you to do is adapt and thrive. Remember learn how to adapt and thrive, because again, unexpected challenges are inevitable in both our professional lives and our personal lives. So we have to be able to develop the resilience and the adaptability to navigate certain obstacles that may come our way. And we need to do it, like I said before, with grace and with that positive mindset. And this includes embracing change, finding creative solutions to things and learning from particular setbacks. So I challenge you, regardless of how much it hurts, think about a past professional challenge that you faced, right? Analyze that particular challenge. Analyze how you navigated through that situation. Think about it. Think about what you could have done that would have been different, and then how can you apply everything that you thought about? How can you apply that to future challenges? And the third thing I want you to do, I want you to be better at prioritizing self-care and recharging. And I really need to do this myself. As a DJ, especially when we're doing these big events, man, sometimes when it's over, sometimes I just want to take a nap the next day, like the entire day, just nap all day, or do something, or maybe put a little more time in between my next gig, because a lot of times it takes a lot out of us. So I want you to prioritize your self-care and recharge. So whatever you have to do, if you have to spend 15 to 30 minutes each day for some sort of self-care activity, some sort of mindfulness, meditation, and or prayer or exercise, or spending time in nature or with friends and family, or doing your hobbies, whatever the case, make sure you prioritize those particular things. All right, now these next level tips that I just gave you, they are inspired by my own personal experiences as a professional, as a DJ, as a career coach. And I try to emphasize the importance of emotional intelligence, because that's going to be the driving force of your success when it comes to achieving your career goal. So I want you to take all of these things and understand that I help individuals and I help teams get to that next level by adjusting your EQ. So feel free to directly contact me so we can connect and so we can get this thing going.
Your next level, next level. Show you heights you've never seen before. Ooh, I wanna take you to your next level, next level. Open up a whole new world to explore. Oh, I'm not here to change who you are, but to help